For decades we've been told one thing: eat more fish. It's good for your heart, your brain, and your overall health. Doctors say it. Nutritionists repeat it. Health articles echo it. And so, millions of people, especially those over 50, reach for fish in the supermarket, believing they are making a smart, health-conscious decision. But what if I told you that not all fish are the same? That some of them, despite their clean look and promising labels, are silently harming your body? Behind the fresh, glossy fillets you see in stores lies a complex web of pollution, industrial farming, and deceptive marketing. Some of these fish are pumped full of antibiotics, raised in filthy, overcrowded pens, and loaded with toxins that can accumulate in your body over time, affecting your memory, damaging your heart, and even increasing your cancer risk. On the other hand, there are fish that act like natural medicine. These are wild, clean, nutrient-dense fish that nourish your brain, strengthen your immune system, reduce inflammation, and protect your heart. These are not miracle claims. They're based on decades of scientific research. In this video, we will look at both sides of the story. We'll reveal the 4 fish you should avoid at all costs, because they carry hidden dangers that could silently undermine your health. And we'll show you the 4 fish you should embrace, because they can truly support your body as you age. This is not about fear. It's about clarity. About giving you the power to choose wisely, with full knowledge of what's really on your plate. Because every time you eat fish, you're making a decision. Healing or harm. Brain clarity or cognitive decline. Heart health or heart failure. So stay with us. What you're about to learn could very well be the most important nutritional advice you hear this year. And if you care about your health or the well-being of someone you love, consider subscribing. Here, we cut through the noise and bring you evidence-based truth for a longer, stronger life. Let's dive in. Section 1, Pangasius. The deceptively cheap danger. Walk into any grocery store and you'll often find Pangasius, also labeled as basa or Vietnamese catfish, stacked neatly in the freezer. It's inexpensive, boneless, odorless, and looks harmless. That's why so many people, especially older adults looking for a light, easy-to-digest fish, choose it week after week. But what you may not know is that behind its neutral taste and clean appearance, Pangasius hides one of the most disturbing stories in the seafood industry. Let's start with where it comes from. The Mekong River Delta in Vietnam. This is one of the most heavily polluted water systems in the world. The river serves as a dumping ground for industrial waste, agricultural runoff, heavy metals, human sewage, and pesticides. Water tests have shown dangerous levels of mercury, arsenic, and even banned chemical residues. Imagine raising thousands of fish in that environment. That's exactly what happens with Pangasius. Farmers crowd up to 4,000 fish into each cubic meter of water, an unnatural, stressful setting that leads to disease, injury, and an extremely high mortality rate. To keep the fish alive under such toxic and overcrowded conditions, massive amounts of antibiotics are used. We're not talking about common antibiotics. Studies have found residues of banned drugs like chloramphenicol and enrofloxacin in exported Pangasius. These substances are linked to cancer, liver toxicity, and antibiotic resistance in humans. And the problems don't stop there. What do these fish eat? Often, it's not fish food at all. Their diet can include animal byproducts, spoiled vegetables, and even human waste. These poor feeding practices contribute to an accumulation of toxins in the fish flesh, chemicals like PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls, which are known to be carcinogenic and damaging to the nervous system. A study conducted by Ghent University analyzed Pangasius samples from European supermarkets and found alarmingly high levels of toxic substances in every single sample. What's worse, the fish are sometimes injected with phosphates to increase their water content and weight, or treated with carbon monoxide to enhance the color, creating the illusion of freshness. But why is this especially dangerous for those over 50? As we age, our bodies become less efficient at detoxifying harmful substances. Organs like the liver and kidneys slow down. Toxins that may not immediately cause symptoms can accumulate silently over years, eventually triggering chronic inflammation, hormone disruption, neurological damage, and increased cancer risk. For older adults already managing health issues, consuming Pangasius can quietly worsen their condition. It's also important to consider food labeling. Pangasius is often served in restaurants or found in frozen meals labeled generically as white fish or seafood fillet, making it difficult for consumers to know what they're actually eating. Many people consume Pangasius unknowingly, believing they are making a healthy choice. In summary, Pangasius is cheap for a reason. It is farmed in polluted waters, fed unnatural diets, treated with banned substances, and carries a toxic burden that no aging body should have to process. Choosing it regularly is not a small compromise. It's a long-term gamble with your health. If you're looking for a safe, nutrient-rich source of protein, there are far better options. Clean, wild-caught fish that support your body instead of sabotaging it from within. Stay with us. Next, we'll uncover another popular fish that may not be as healthy as you think. Section 2, Farmed Salmon. A beautiful lie. When most people think of healthy fish, salmon tops the list. Its rosy color, rich flavor, and well-marketed health claims make it a favorite among health-conscious consumers. But what if that pink fillet in your cart isn't as healthy as you think? What if it's hiding a toxic burden that could be undermining your health, especially as you age? Let's break it down. The majority of salmon sold in supermarkets today is not wild but farmed. These farmed salmon are raised in crowded underwater cages, often containing up to 200,000 fish in a confined coastal area. These conditions are breeding grounds for parasites, disease, and waste accumulation. The water beneath these pens becomes polluted with fish feces, uneaten food, and chemical residues that harm both the environment and the fish themselves. To combat disease in such settings, farmed salmon are routinely given antibiotics, some of which are not approved for use in humans. These antibiotics can accumulate in the fish's flesh and, when consumed regularly, may contribute to antibiotic resistance and damage your gut microbiome, something that becomes more fragile as we age. And what do these fish eat? Unlike wild salmon, which feed on krill, shrimp, and small fish, farmed salmon are fed processed pellets made from soy, corn, and low-quality fish meal. This unnatural diet alters the fatty acid profile of the fish, reducing the beneficial omega-3 fats and increasing inflammatory omega-6 levels. In fact, the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in farmed salmon can reach 4:1, comparable to pork, whereas wild salmon maintains a healthy 1:10 ratio. What about that lovely pink color? In nature, wild salmon get their color from astaxanthin, a carotenoid found in the crustaceans they eat. Farmed salmon, however, would be grayish-white if left alone. So the industry adds synthetic astaxanthin, often derived from petrochemicals, into their feed. The intensity of the color is literally controlled using salmon color charts, like paint samples, to meet consumer expectations. But here's the bigger concern. Farmed salmon is frequently contaminated with persistent organic pollutants like PCBs, dioxins, and chlorinated pesticides. A study by the Environmental Working Group found that farmed salmon contains 16 times more PCBs than wild salmon and 4 times more chlorinated pesticides. These chemicals are known to disrupt hormones, weaken the immune system, and increase cancer risk, particularly dangerous for aging adults with slower detoxification systems. And it doesn't stop there. Farmed salmon may also contain ethoxyquin, a synthetic preservative originally developed to stabilize rubber. It's added to fish feed to prevent oxidation, but it accumulates in the fish and, by extension, in your body. Ethoxyquin has been linked to liver damage, genetic mutations, and impaired immune responses. Adding to the list of problems, farmed salmon are highly susceptible to sea lice, parasitic organisms that damage the fish's skin and health. To manage these parasites, farms use chemical treatments that can also remain in the fish's flesh. Now consider this. A Norwegian study found that people who ate farmed salmon regularly had higher levels of inflammation markers than those who didn't eat fish at all. That means the very food many believe is anti-inflammatory could actually be contributing to chronic inflammation. And let's not forget environmental concerns. Salmon farms pollute coastal ecosystems, threaten wild fish populations, and contribute to the spread of disease. So, what's the takeaway for you? If you're over 50, your health needs are more specific. Your heart, brain, and immune system require clean, supportive nutrition, not hidden toxins. Farmed salmon, despite its reputation, may be doing more harm than good. Whenever possible, choose wild-caught salmon, especially from Alaska or the North Pacific. These fish live in clean waters, eat a natural diet, and contain the full spectrum of health-boosting nutrients without the industrial baggage. Next, we'll explore another popular fish that millions eat weekly, unaware of its silent threat. Section 3. Tuna. Mercury's Trojan horse. Tuna is one of the most popular fish in the world. It's lean, protein-packed, and widely promoted as a healthy option for fitness enthusiasts and older adults alike. Whether it's in sushi, salads, or straight from the can, tuna finds its way onto millions of plates every day. But what if behind this clean image lies one of the most toxic threats in our modern diet, especially for people over 50? Here's the hidden danger. Mercury. Specifically, methylmercury, a highly toxic form of mercury that easily crosses into the brain and nervous system. Tuna, especially large species like bluefin, albacore, and big-eye, sit at the top of the oceanic food chain. As predators, they eat smaller fish that contain mercury. Over their long lifespan, often 15 to 20 years, tuna accumulate mercury from every single meal, leading to extreme levels of bioaccumulation. A landmark study by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, analyzed over 1,000 tuna samples and found that 100% contained detectable levels of mercury. Even more alarming, more than half exceeded the safe limit set for human consumption. This is not just a number on a chart. This is a chemical that, once inside your body, stays there for months, sometimes years, especially if you eat tuna frequently. Why does this matter more as we age? Because the body's ability to detoxify heavy metals diminishes with age. Methylmercury crosses the blood-brain barrier, lodges in neurons, and can cause long-term damage to memory, attention, and coordination. Studies have linked chronic mercury exposure to increased risks of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, and cognitive decline. For seniors already experiencing mild memory issues, regular tuna consumption may quietly accelerate the problem. It gets worse for pregnant women and developing children. Mercury crosses the placenta and affects the fetal nervous system, potentially leading to lower IQ, delayed development, and behavioral problems. But even if you're not in that demographic, mercury affects everyone, particularly the brain and cardiovascular system. Let's talk numbers. The World Health Organization, WHO, recommends a weekly limit of 1.6 micrograms of mercury per kilogram of body weight. For a 70 kilograms adult, that's about 112 micrograms per week. A single 150-gram portion of tuna can contain up to 225 micrograms, double the weekly limit in one meal. Canned tuna is not necessarily safer. Studies show that white, albacore, canned tuna often has 40% more mercury than light, skipjack tuna. Yet consumers are often misled by labels that suggest white equals healthier. The reality: the paler the flesh, the higher the toxin load. So what should you do? First, be selective. Not all tuna is created equal. Smaller species like skipjack contain significantly less mercury. If you eat tuna, limit it to once every 2 weeks and avoid larger, longer-living types like bluefin and albacore altogether. Second, be cautious with frequency. Mercury accumulates over time. Even if you feel fine today, the damage can manifest months or years later as tremors, depression, or memory problems. Finally, consider better alternatives. There are many fish that provide high-quality protein and omega-3s without the mercury burden, like sardines, wild salmon, and mackerel. These are safer choices for long-term brain and heart health. Tuna may seem like a health food, but it can be a Trojan horse, offering nutrients on the surface while silently delivering neurotoxins deep inside. For those over 50, protecting your brain and nervous system is not optional. It's essential. And it starts with the choices you make at the dinner table. Next, we'll uncover the ocean's most toxic predators, and why they should never be on your plate. Section 4. Shark and ray. Apex predators, apex toxins. Among the many creatures of the ocean, few command as much awe and fear as sharks and rays. These apex predators are powerful, ancient, and built for survival at the top of the food chain. But their position at the top comes with a dangerous cost, one that may find its way onto your dinner plate. For older adults aiming to preserve their health, these are the last fish you should be eating. Why? Because sharks and rays accumulate the highest levels of toxins found in marine life. As long-living predators, they consume thousands of smaller fish during their lives, each containing trace amounts of heavy metals and pollutants. Over time, these toxins concentrate in their flesh through a process called bioaccumulation. The older and larger the fish, the higher the concentration. Let's start with mercury. A study by Florida International University found that shark meat samples from various global sources contain 2 to 10 times more mercury than other large fish like tuna. A single serving of shark can contain more mercury than your entire monthly safe intake, according to World Health Organization guidelines. And it's not just mercury. Shark and ray meat is also contaminated with PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls, dioxins, and flame retardants, persistent organic pollutants that resist breakdown and store themselves in fat tissues. These substances are linked to cancer, hormonal disruption, immune dysfunction, and neurological decline. All issues that become increasingly critical after age 50. Even more insidious is the way shark meat is labeled and sold. It's often disguised under names like white fish, rock salmon, or sea steak, making it hard for consumers to identify. Smoked shark, sold as schillerlaken in some European markets, or stingray, commonly served in Asian cuisine, might seem like exotic delicacies, but they carry a heavy toxic load. Rays are bottom dwellers. This means they are exposed to sediment that accumulates industrial pollutants from rivers, factories, and agricultural runoff. Their diet includes shellfish and crustaceans that absorb these toxins from the seabed, making ray meat a cocktail of contaminants, especially concerning for those with weakened detox systems due to age. There's also the issue of TMAO, trimethylamine N-oxide. This naturally occurring compound is found in high levels in both sharks and rays and is now associated with increased risk for atherosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries. TMAO has been shown in research to promote cholesterol buildup in blood vessels, increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. For aging adults who may already be managing heart conditions, high blood pressure, or cognitive changes, the consumption of shark or ray meat poses an unnecessary and preventable risk. Your body, at this stage in life, is more sensitive to environmental toxins. The liver and kidneys work slower, and the brain is more vulnerable to chemical assault. Sadly, some high-end restaurants or fish markets promote shark and ray as luxurious, clean sources of protein. This could not be further from the truth. The scientific data is clear. These are the most contaminated marine animals in the world. So what should you do? Avoid all products containing shark or ray meat. Be cautious of vague labels like white fish or steak fish. Ask questions when ordering seafood. Opt instead for clean, small fish lower on the food chain, such as sardines, herring, and wild salmon. These fish live short lives, feed on plankton or algae, and accumulate minimal toxins. Your dinner plate should be a place of nourishment, not a delivery system for mercury and industrial waste. Sharks and rays belong in the wild, not in your diet. Up next, we shift gears to explore the fish that can actually support your longevity, starting with one of the smallest but most powerful. Section 5, Sardines. The compact omega-3 miracle. In a world where seafood safety feels uncertain, sardines stand out as a true gift of nature. Tiny in size, massive in benefits. For adults over 50, they offer one of the cleanest, most concentrated sources of essential nutrients your body needs to stay sharp, strong, and resilient. Let's start with the basics. Sardines are small, short-lived fish that feed low on the food chain, primarily on plankton. This makes them naturally low in mercury and other toxins. Unlike larger predator fish, sardines simply don't live long enough to accumulate heavy metals or industrial pollutants. That's a huge win for your nervous system, liver, and overall longevity. But the real magic of sardines lies in their nutrient density. A single 100-gram serving of sardines provides over 2 grams of EPA and DHA, the two most potent forms of omega-3 fatty acids. These fats are crucial for maintaining heart health, reducing inflammation, and preserving cognitive function as we age. Harvard Medical School conducted a 20-year study involving 40,000 health professionals. The findings were striking. Participants who regularly consumed small, oily fish like sardines had a 35% lower risk of heart attack and a significantly reduced rate of sudden cardiac death. That's not a supplement commercial. That's peer-reviewed science. And the benefits don't stop at omega-3s. Sardines are also one of the richest natural sources of coenzyme Q10, CoQ10, a powerful antioxidant that supports mitochondrial function and heart muscle health. CoQ10 levels naturally decline with age, and supplementing it through food is far more bioavailable than pills. Sardines offer this support straight from nature. Need more reasons? Sardines are protein powerhouses, containing all 9 essential amino acids in highly bioavailable forms. This makes them ideal for maintaining muscle mass, especially important for older adults facing age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia. Protein is also crucial for bone health, immune response, and tissue repair. And then there's vitamin D, often deficient in older populations, particularly those who live in northern climates or spend little time outdoors. Sardines deliver a generous dose of vitamin D, which supports calcium absorption, bone density, and immune function. Combined with phosphorus and magnesium, also found in sardines, this trio helps prevent osteoporosis and frailty. The vitamin B12 content in sardines is also impressive. Just 1 serving meets or exceeds your daily requirement. B12 is essential for maintaining nerve health and producing red blood cells, 2 functions that become even more critical with age. Even better. Sardines are shelf-stable, affordable, and widely available. Whether canned in olive oil, water, or tomato sauce, they retain their nutritional value and make for a convenient meal or snack. No elaborate cooking required. Just open, serve, and nourish your body. But here's the key: consistency. The benefits of sardines, like all superfoods, accumulate over time. Eating them once every few months won't move the needle. Aim to include sardines in your meals 2 to 3 times per week to reap the full spectrum of health advantages. In a marketplace flooded with overhyped products and risky seafood options, sardines remain refreshingly trustworthy. They are the rare example of a food that is nutrient-dense, safe, sustainable, and inexpensive, all at once. If you're over 50 and looking for a simple science-backed way to protect your heart, brain, bones, and immune system, add sardines to your weekly rotation. They may be small, but their impact is mighty. Next, we'll meet another oily fish that's equally powerful in fighting inflammation and boosting vitality: the Atlantic mackerel. Section 6. Mackerel. Atlantic's anti-inflammatory secret. If you're over 50 and looking for a food that can genuinely reduce inflammation, protect your heart, and nourish your entire body, look no further than Atlantic mackerel. Often overlooked in favor of trendier fish, mackerel is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory foods available, and yet it remains affordable, accessible, and incredibly nutrient-dense. Let's begin with what sets mackerel apart: omega-3 content. A 150-gram portion of Atlantic mackerel delivers over 3 grams of EPA and DHA, putting it well above salmon, tuna, and even many fish oil capsules. These fatty acids are the body's frontline defenders against inflammation. They suppress the production of inflammatory cytokines and prostaglandins, chemicals that contribute to arthritis, heart disease, and cognitive decline. The impact of these omega-3s is not theoretical. A clinical study involving patients with rheumatoid arthritis found that those who consumed mackerel daily reduced their use of pain medication by over 60%. Their joints became less stiff, their pain decreased, and overall quality of life improved. These results are especially meaningful for older adults managing chronic inflammation. But mackerel is more than just an omega-3 powerhouse. It's loaded with selenium, a trace mineral that plays a crucial role in activating the body's natural detox enzyme, glutathione peroxidase. This enzyme helps neutralize harmful free radicals and protects your cells from oxidative stress, a key factor in aging and disease. Mackerel is also rich in vitamin D, vitamin B12, and niacin, all of which support energy production, nerve function, and cardiovascular health. As we age, our ability to absorb and utilize these nutrients declines, making it even more essential to get them from food sources with high bioavailability. Mackerel fits that bill perfectly. Let's talk about protein. Mackerel offers a high-quality source of complete protein, containing all essential amino acids. This supports muscle maintenance, which is critical in preventing sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. Strong muscles are directly linked to better mobility, balance, and lower risk of falls. Top priorities for healthy aging. One of the best things about Atlantic mackerel is its safety profile. It's a small, fast-growing fish with a short lifespan, which means it doesn't accumulate the high levels of mercury and other toxins found in larger predator fish. Unlike king mackerel or Spanish mackerel, which should be avoided, Atlantic mackerel is consistently rated as low in mercury and safe for regular consumption. Environmental sustainability is another benefit. Atlantic mackerel populations are relatively well managed and don't rely on intensive farming practices. Choosing wild Atlantic mackerel supports both personal health and ecological balance. A win-win. So how can you incorporate mackerel into your diet? It's widely available in canned form, often packed in olive oil, tomato sauce, or mustard, and also sold fresh or frozen in many markets. It's flavorful, rich, and satisfying. For best results, aim to consume mackerel 2 times per week, pairing it with fiber-rich vegetables to further reduce inflammation and support digestion. In short, mackerel offers the rare combination of high-impact nutrition, safety, and affordability. For adults over 50 dealing with inflammation, fatigue, or declining heart and brain health, it's a powerful ally in your diet. In our next section, we'll highlight another underrated fish that's earned its place as the brain's best friend. Herring. Section 7. Herring, brain's best friend. As we grow older, preserving cognitive health becomes a top priority. Memory lapses, slower thinking, and diminished focus often feel like inevitable signs of aging. But what if a simple change in your diet could make a meaningful difference in how your brain performs? Enter herring, one of the most underrated yet powerful brain-supporting foods available today. Herring is a small, oily fish that swims in cold northern waters and lives a relatively short life. These traits mean it accumulates very few environmental toxins like mercury or PCBs, making it a safe choice for regular consumption, especially for individuals over 50. But what truly sets herring apart is its extraordinary nutritional profile for brain health. A single serving of herring, around 100 grams, delivers over 1.7 grams of DHA, the most essential omega-3 fatty acid for brain function. DHA makes up nearly 40% of the fatty acids in the brain's cell membranes. It's critical for neuron integrity, signal transmission, and reducing brain inflammation, all functions that naturally weaken with age. In fact, the landmark Ages Reykjavik study, which followed more than 2,000 older adults for over a decade, found that those who consumed herring and other fatty fish regularly had a 47% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. That's nearly cutting your risk in half, without medication. But DHA is just the beginning. Herring is rich in phosphatidylserine, a phospholipid that helps maintain the flexibility and structure of neuronal membranes. This compound plays a central role in memory retention and mental clarity. Some research even suggests phosphatidylserine supplementation can slow or reverse mild cognitive decline in aging adults. Another critical nutrient found in herring is choline, which your body uses to produce acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter involved in learning and memory. Acetylcholine levels naturally decline as we age and are especially low in people with Alzheimer's. By consuming choline-rich foods like herring, you can help maintain healthy brain function and improve attention and recall. But the benefits don't stop at the brain. Herring is also an excellent source of vitamin B12, which supports nerve function and energy production, and selenium, a mineral that protects against oxidative stress. Both are essential for maintaining neurological health and reducing fatigue. Let's not forget about protein. Like other oily fish, herring is a high-quality protein source, helping to preserve muscle mass and support immune function, both of which become increasingly important as we age. And for expecting mothers or older adults caring for grandchildren, there's good news too. A Norwegian study involving over 15,000 pregnant women found that those who ate herring during pregnancy gave birth to children with higher IQ scores and stronger cognitive development. This suggests that herring not only supports aging brains but developing ones as well. So how can you enjoy herring? It's commonly available smoked, pickled, or canned. While the strong flavor may be new to some, it's an acquired taste well worth developing. Pair it with whole grain crackers, dark leafy greens, or probiotic-rich fermented vegetables for a brain-boosting, gut-friendly meal. Aim to include herring in your meals at least once per week. The combination of DHA, phosphatidylserine, and choline offers a trifecta of neuroprotection that few other foods can match. In the next section, we'll close the circle with the king of clean, healing fish, wild-caught salmon. Section 8, Wild Salmon, the true king of the sea. When it comes to seafood, few choices are as universally praised as wild-caught salmon, and for good reason. It's more than just a delicious meal. For those over 50, wild salmon offers a nutrient profile so powerful and clean that it's often considered one of the most complete natural health foods available. Unlike its farmed counterpart, wild salmon lives a life of freedom in cold, clean waters like those of Alaska and the North Pacific. These fish feed naturally on krill, shrimp, and small fish, giving them their rich, reddish-orange color and a nutritional advantage that's hard to match. Let's talk omega-3s. A 150-gram serving of wild salmon contains over 2.5 grams of EPA and DHA, the most potent omega-3 fatty acids known to science. These fats help reduce inflammation, support heart function, and protect against cognitive decline. Unlike fish oil supplements, the omega-3s in wild salmon come with a full spectrum of cofactors that enhance absorption and effectiveness. One of the most unique compounds in wild salmon is astaxanthin, a naturally occurring antioxidant responsible for the fish's vibrant color. Astaxanthin is up to 6,000 times more powerful than vitamin C and has been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier, providing direct protection to brain cells. It also supports skin health, improves endurance, and combats oxidative stress, a key driver of aging. Wild salmon is also a top-tier protein source. It provides all essential amino acids in optimal ratios, including leucine, a key amino acid for muscle maintenance and regeneration. This is especially crucial for older adults who are at risk of sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss. Beyond that, wild salmon delivers a robust supply of vitamin D, vitamin B12, selenium, and potassium, all critical for maintaining energy levels, nerve health, cardiovascular function, and electrolyte balance. These nutrients work together to support systems that tend to weaken with age, including the immune and endocrine systems. What makes wild salmon stand out even more is its purity. Because it lives a short life in clean wild waters, it has extremely low levels of mercury, PCBs, and dioxins. Some tests show levels up to 20 times lower than those found in tuna or farmed salmon. This means your body gets all the benefits without the toxic burden. The longevity impact is real. A Harvard study tracking over 80,000 women found that those who ate wild salmon regularly had a 42% lower risk of heart attack, 38% lower risk of stroke, and lived an average of 2.2 years longer than those who didn't include fatty fish in their diet. So how do you choose the right salmon? Look for labels like wild-caught, Alaskan, or Pacific salmon. Avoid generic Atlantic salmon, which is almost always farmed. If fresh isn't available, opt for frozen wild salmon or canned versions with bones, a good calcium source. To enjoy the benefits, aim for 2 servings per week. Grill it, bake it, or flake it into salads. It's as versatile as it is healing. In the crowded world of seafood, wild salmon earns its crown not just by popularity, but by evidence. It supports the heart, feeds the brain, builds muscle, reduces inflammation, and protects the body from environmental toxins. In our final section, we'll bring everything together, so you can make the most informed, empowered choices every time you eat fish. Every meal is a decision, and nowhere is that more true than when choosing fish. For decades, we've been told to eat more seafood for our health. But as you've now seen, not all fish are created equal. Some quietly build strength and resilience in your body. Others silently introduce toxins that chip away at your health over time. For those over 50, this distinction becomes even more critical. Your body's detox systems slow down. Your immune system, cardiovascular health, and cognitive sharpness need all the support they can get. And the fish you eat can either help or hinder that process. Let's recap. Avoid these 4 fish. Pangasius, raised in polluted waters, packed with antibiotics and industrial waste. Farmed salmon, chemically colored, inflammation-promoting, and loaded with pollutants. Tuna, high in mercury, dangerous to brain health and heart function. Shark and ray, top-of-the-chain predators with the highest toxic load in the ocean. Embrace these 4 healing fish. Sardines. Tiny, clean, and bursting with heart-loving omega-3s and CoQ10. Mackerel, anti-inflammatory champion with high-quality protein and selenium. Herring, brain's best friend, rich in DHA, choline, and phosphatidylserine. Wild salmon, the ultimate superfish. Clean, complete, and longevity supporting. What can you do starting today? Read labels carefully. Look for wild-caught, low mercury, and country of origin indicators. Eat clean fish 2 to 3 times per week. Rotation matters. So does consistency. Educate others. Share this knowledge with family and friends who may unknowingly be choosing poison over nourishment. At this stage in life, every choice matters more, not less. You deserve to thrive, to stay sharp, and to age with power. And the fish you choose is part of that journey. If this video helped you see the truth more clearly, please like, share, and subscribe. We bring you not just advice, but evidence-based guidance that respects your age, your body, and your future. Tell us in the comments, which harmful fish will you now avoid? And which healing fish are you excited to add to your plate? Stay informed. Stay empowered. And remember, the sea offers both poison and medicine. Always choose wisely.